most of these introductions were written by the speakers. And I want to give the respect that they actually asked for when writing an introduction, which was why most introductions should be specifically written word for word and spoken word for word. Beth has been Joe's mom for 19 years and is a pit bull activist. Joe went to camp all 13 years. He was one of the only kids that started at age 5. He even attended camp with a fully casted broken leg. In addition to having spina bifida, survived cancer 3 times. He took part in one Relay for Life, where he was recognized as the 3rd highest individual fundraiser for the event. He graduated in 2014 on time, even though he spent his freshman year undergoing cancer treatment. With Champions of Diversity Scholarship, he's witty beyond words. He's also a pit bull activist. Today, they would like to be known as the dynamic duo. Please help me welcome Beth and Joe Edwards.
Hi guys, I'm Joe. Everyone hear me all right? Yeah. Awesome. I'd like to start out tonight by saying that I attended Camp Casey for 13 years of my life. Camp Casey was the best part of my year, every year. From the first day when we would all meet in crazy costumes, to the last day when we were all so tired we could barely keep our eyes open. There was so much to do at camp. Some of my fondest memories include games like the Contender, going to the carnival, swimming, the dance, and of course the bear grades. I'll also never forget the camp cuisine that included my all-time favorite, the tater tot casserole. And most of all, the mysterious red juice, which to this day, I still don't know what it is. Mom, I hate to say it, but the food they make at camp is better than what you make at home. Camp Casey was also great because of the staff. Every year they found ways to include each and every camper in the daily activities. They were the best big brothers and big sisters to everyone at camp. Kids that were scared, kids that needed holding or simple assurances, they always made sure our needs were met, and they were always there when we needed them. Despite the fact that camp was such a great time, that's honestly not why it's important to me. I feel that my experiences at camp molded me into the young man you see sitting before you. I'd be standing, but I can't. Camp taught me to look outside of myself, outside of my wheelchair, and to dream big. They instilled a belief in me that I can do anything that I want to do, and that where there is a will, there is a way. Camp taught me that just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean that I'm handicapped. And in fact, to this day, most of my friends tell me that they forget that I'm in a wheelchair until we go to the movies and they have to pack the chair in the back of my car. My chair, not theirs.
Amen, brother.
Camp taught me to trust in myself and depend on myself because I am capable. Throughout my life, I've made many friends, a lot of whom are in the same situation that I am. Some are in wheelchairs, some have shunts, some have learning disabilities. But the big difference that I see between myself and those who did not attend Camp Casey is that they drank the poor baby juice instead of the mysterious red juice. And that poison turned from a poor baby into poor me, and it really set them up for a sad outlook on their life. Camp made me see my disability as a gift. I feel like it gave me an edge on the rest of the world, as it laid the groundwork for my joy. It taught me that I too can live a full and productive life. I liken my journey to the poem by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. In that poem, Robert Frost talks about two roads and having to choose one over the other. He claims that one road appeared traveled and one did not. He took a chance and took the road less traveled by, and claims that that experience made all the difference for him, and it has for me as well. Camp is a road not traveled by many, but for me and others who have taken this road, it too has made all the difference. Thank you all for coming out and supporting camp.
That's going to be a hard act to follow. Want the tissues for some waterworks? Everybody forgive me if it gets deep in here. I was asked to speak to you all tonight about why I, as a parent, love Camp Casey, and why I believe it's so important that it continues. To do so, I feel like it's important that you all understand where my journey began. So I'd like to start off by reading to you a slightly condensed version of a poem by Emily Pearl Kingsley called Welcome to Holland. When you're going to have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous vacation trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks and make your wonderful plans. The Colosseum, the Michelangelo David, the gondolas in Venice. You may learn some handy phrases in Italian. It's all very exciting. After months of eager anticipation, the date finally arrives. You pack your bags and off you go. Several hours later, the plane lands. The stewardess comes in and says, "Welcome to Holland." "Holland, you say? What do you mean Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy my whole life. I dreamed of going to Italy." But there's been a change in the flight plan. They've landed in Holland, and there you must stay. The important thing is that they haven't taken you to a horrible, disgusting, filthy place, full of pestilence, famine, and disease. It's just a different place. So you must go and buy your guidebooks, and you must learn a whole new language, and you will meet a whole new group of people you would never have met. It's just a different place. It's slower paced than Italy, less flashy than Italy, but after you've been there a while and you catch your breath, you look around and you begin to notice that Holland has windmills. Holland has tulips. Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy and coming and going from Italy, and they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they had there. And for the rest of your life, you'll say, "Yep, that's where I was supposed to go. That's what I had planned." And the pain of that will never, ever go away, because the loss of that dream is a very significant loss. But if you spend your whole life mourning the fact that you didn't get to Italy, you may never be free to enjoy the very special and the very lovely things about Holland. As a single mom, I didn't have a lot of choice in raising my son. I would go to work so we could squeak by, and I missed a lot of work for countless doctor appointments, surgeries, and awful emergencies. It was difficult raising him, and with each medical emergency, I struggled to stay strong, but it took a toll on me. I was always tired, frustrated, and most of all scared. Because when your child is born with major medical issues, you never know when the other shoe will drop. And with Joe, it kept dropping. It seemed like we never had time for fun or to enjoy our little family. Because on top of his daily care, I was always responding to a broken bone or a broken shunt, to a new pressure wound, or a broken wheelchair, or orthotics that didn't fit anymore. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. We were both exhausted, and the life we had together was something neither one of us felt was very fair. Thankfully, in 2001, I learned of Camp Casey while I was attending a family wedding. A former counselor in the groom's party recognized that Joe had the perfect disability, spina bifida, and that would pave his road into camp. As we talked, it sounded like a dream, a place for kids like my son to go and just be a kid. There were capable medical staff, and the best part, it was free. I went home that night, completed the application, and a few months later, Joe was on his way to his first year of Camp Casey. As we pulled into the drop zone that day, I was amazed by the families and the sea of young people in wheelchairs. I wondered where they had all come from. Even though everyone was a stranger to me, they all seemed so familiar. And as I looked around at the parents, I felt a common bond of understanding. One mother even recognized my expression and asked me if this was our first year. I imagine the tears streaming down my face probably gave me away. I looked at the children, at their wheelchairs, and at their shunt scars, and they were all the same. For all these years, I had felt so alone, yet here in this parking lot of strangers, I never felt more comfortable. I could also see excitement mounting in Joe. It had started as caution, but it quickly turned to curiosity. And by the time he was checked in and ready to go, he was completely oblivious of me. Joe was 5 years old, but he was ready to march off into this wonderland to get some of what these other kids had. I handed him over to a camp counselor who assured me that everything would be okay, and with a fleeting backwards glance said, "I love you, Mom," Joe was off. The child that returned to me a week later was forever changed. In a mere 5 days, he transformed from my baby into an independent young boy. He had a swagger and a courage I hadn't seen before, and he was joyful. That is the seed that Camp Casey planted in him that year. Every time thereafter I would say, "Let me help you," he'd say, "I got this, Mom." Every time someone else would say, "Oh, you can't do that," he'd say, "Watch me," and he would. And for every poor baby, he'd just shrug it off and keep moving. The child that returned from that week of camp was no longer so completely dependent on me. You see, despite our best intentions that include handicap parking, inclusive sports, and paved pathways, the message that society sends to these children and their families is that they truly are disabled people. They will always need a law or a person to help them manage their lives. And the constant flood of "you can't do that, you'll never make it," or the very worst, "poor baby," teach these children that their lives are hopeless and unfortunate. At Camp Casey, our kids are immersed in, "Of course you can. Let's find a way, and you've got this." For 1 week of their lives, they learn that joy is an equal opportunity and that it's theirs to have just like everyone else. They learn that they are not special because of their disability, rather special just because of who they are. They learn that they are not disabled, just differently abled. And if I've learned anything from being the mom of a Camp Casey camper, it's that if a child in a wheelchair covered with pressure sores and a broken leg can still wake up and look forward to the days ahead, then I can too. What Camp Casey has taught me is that life is a gift, no matter what kind of package it's wrapped in, and it's up to us to unwrap it and play with it. Joe's last year of camp was a tough one for me. I was preparing to prepare him But as we talked, I realized that this was a graduation for both of us, because all of these years I had needed camp just as much as he did. The break was always nice, but I spent every one of them cleaning and remodeling his room. Now, I needed this camp because being a part of the Casey bunch meant I wasn't doing this alone. Every year, Joe would return from camp with a fresh sense of joy and with new goals and dreams. You see, all these years, I had come to depend on camp to feed that little seed they planted back in 2001. But as we talked and prepared for the graduation, he declared to me, "Mom, I'm ready." And at that moment, I knew that little seed had grown into a mature, confident, independent, and perfectly able young man. Joe is now 19. He's not only graduated from Camp Casey, but he graduated from high school with an honor as well as multiple scholarships. He's gone through leadership training and is the only wheelchair volunteer at a week-long summer camp for kids with cancer. He's traveled the U.S. and is looking forward to his first mission trip to Africa, where he'll help disabled children in that region. Today, Joe is attending his second year of college and looking forward to a future in the medical field as an echocardiology technician. For us, Camp Joseph wasn't just a fun week in the summer. It was a place that Joe went to learn how to live his life most abundantly. It was a place that he learned how to be capable and independent. It was a place that taught him to depend on himself more so that the time we had together was joyful and fun and spirited. Camp Casey gave us our family back. So right now, I'd like to ask each of you to do what you can to help plant these seeds in other children. Camp Casey gave us the support we needed when we needed it most. It's a gift. It is part of this fantastic trip to Holland. And with your generous contribution tonight, you will continue giving hope and joy to families like mine for years and years to come. Thank you all for being here tonight and supporting Camp Casey.